Welcome to the third annual community Iftar dinner. This is an event that is organized by a group of Somali, group of friends, Somali community members. We bring all the community members together here so we can have the dinner together. Iftar, by the way, is one of the most sacred dinners of Ramadan. That's where all the family members come together and we eat together while also observing the month Ramadan.
sidaad ogsoon tihiin waxaan ku jirnaa bishii Ramadaan bisha Ramadaan waa shanta tiir islaam islaamku dhisan yahay mid kamida waxayna ku fadhidaa xikmado badan bay ugu fadhiyaa dadka.
As you all are aware of, we are in the month of Ramadan, which means fasting, and Ramadan is one of the five pillars of Islam.
xikmadaha soonka lagu talagalay Allah markuu ya ayyuhalladhina aamanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal ladina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. dadkan muslimiinta ah oo nabiyullaahi Muhammad loo soo saaray iyo nabiyadii ka horeeyayba waajib ay ku wada ahayd. xikmada ka dambeysana waa cabsi oo aad qofka iyo Allah in la isku xidhan yihiin.
Fasting, what is the wisdom behind fasting? Why are we starving ourselves 18 hours a day? What is the wisdom? God Almighty Allah told us the reason why fasting has been prescribed for us and those before us is for us to be pious. The only reason is piety. That's one of the reasons.
qofku haduu soomo 18 saacadood qofka sooman oo wax walba ka soomay cunto iyo biyo wax walba ka sooman bal iska dhaaf inuu dadka kale wax xun ka sheega ka sooman waa cibaado khaas Allah u ah. qofku waxyaabaha kale oo dhan wuu qarsan karaa laakiin waxa xaqiiqo ah haduu inta soomo إلهي بوحولي كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. مركا أبال مركنا الله بابحيا وحكى لنا والله قرسن كرا لكن صوم كقف إلهي درتي وصوم كرا.
As human being, we can do a lot of things, but when the person is fasting and starving 18 hours, the wisdom behind fasting is that person will not harm others, because they are so hungry. And also, they doing this for the sake of God. They're not doing it for anybody else. And God Almighty Himself said that fasting is for His, and He will reward for it. A special reward that God only knows what it is.
I am happy to be here today. This is a wonderful event. This is my second time being here. It's always nice to have iftars with non-Muslims so they can experience the joy after you break your fast and to kind of share why we do it. So I appreciate the Imam being here and explaining what Ramadan is. Thank you. My name is Zaki Don and I'm running for Takula City Council. And the reason why I chose to run is because I literally and frankly wanted to give back the community that welcomed me, my family, when we came to the States. I want to tell you a little story about when we first moved into Taquilla. I remember a beautiful woman who was our neighbor. Her name was Linda Thompson. Linda came to our door and knocked the door, and my mom opened the door and she said no English. And she said, "Hi, my name is Linda, I'm your neighbor." And she said, "Wait a minute." She went back and dialed the phone number that we had. She called my uncle who was a cab driver. She said, "Na adana guriga joogto soo carar." That loosely translates, there's a white lady in front of my door, hurry up. My uncle came and translated. One of the things that lady shared with us was, hey, I'm your neighbor. I noticed you guys moved in. I just wanted to introduce myself. Welcome to Takwila. We have a swimming pool. I know you got kids. You have a swimming pool. I work there, and I also know the community center. I can show you kids around. That is the reason why I really wanted to run, because you have a community that welcomed us, that we did not know, that did not know who we were, that knew that we were new and then welcomed us. For me, that was really special to give. For me, that was really special to see people that really cared, the new Americans that arrived to the next door.
Well, greetings to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. First, I want to thank our sponsors, including the Somali Health Board, and many, many other people who contributed time and funds as well to make this event possible. My name is Shukri. I'm one of the planning committee members, including Abdi Shukri Fiyoke, Ubah Warsame, Mohammed Shidane, made this possible, but also all of you for coming out. Hamadirya in the back, who's been a consistent supporter of this event for the last 3 years. So it's an honor, honestly, to be in the presence of Mr. Zaki Dan, who's running for Takwila City Council, and a friend of mine, Ubah Adan, who is running for the Takwila School Board, District 4 position. I want to introduce my closest friend and ally, and someone who I feel will represent not just our families as Somalis, but marginalized communities in Takwila as well, and ultimately all children, right? Because what benefits one child, having worked for the school district, benefits all children. And I believe Ubah is that candidate. Ubah.
Thank you first and foremost, every one of you who took the time to be here tonight. To me, when I look at this, my job is done. I worked so hard with my team to make sure that we all come together, and the whole purpose of this night was to bring everybody together so we can have in one space that we all come together, eat, share maybe stories if we have time. But most of all, Ramadan is so important to us. I have a lot of friends here who I reach out to, and I have a lot of community members who always are at the front whenever we need them, when we call them for events, when we call them for community needs. We have a lot of allies, and I'm so excited to see all of you here. I know how important it is to take a time out of your busy schedule, all of you. Campaigning, I said, for the school board. The reason I want to run for the school board is I already serve in the budget committee in the district that we live in Takwila, and I also serve the parent advisory committee. So I've been serving those two committees for almost over a year and a half, and I have 3 children in the school district. High school who just graduated, my son, his graduation. His graduation was yesterday, and I have my daughter who is in middle school, and I have my young son who's in elementary. So I said, if anything else put aside, I'm a mother who knows the needs of all this different kind of level of school. So who knows better than a mom who have elementary child, elementary and middle school child, and high school child? So if I know all 3 of them and what they need, then I can advocate for any mom. I can advocate for all the children. So who knows better than a mom who has all 3 levels? I am on the meetings, I am with the teachers. So I said, okay, now, thank you. We have to also think about the diversity in our city. We are 84 different languages spoken in our schools. So if we have all this diversity and all these different countries, I said always, come to Takwila if you want to see the world. You don't have to take a plane, just come to Takwila. You will see the world if you come to Takwila. So why can we not reflect that diversity in our board, in our teachers, in our leaders in the district. We have to reflect in that.
Ramadan Mubarak. So before I get started, I'll just say that Chief O'Toole could not be here, so she had a family conflict, but I'm happy to be here in her stead. I'm so honored to speak. This community has been so wonderful to the city, to the police department, to me personally. I was invited here by Uba or Same. It's really important that we stay the course and not let outside influences divide us and distract us from coming together and working together as a community. We have an opportunity, no matter what, to be our best selves. And we have to work with our young people. They're the future. We have to support any program that helps with intervention and prevention and keeping our young people out of harm's way. You know, we have to remember that we are all in this together, that regardless of any other rhetoric outside, that this is a community that wants to make sure that we are all working together, that we're collaborative, that we are a part of the community and not apart from the community.
And I'm speaking here on behalf of Somali Health Board, which is an organization that consists of Somali health professionals. And I just want to take a couple minutes to first appreciate the folks who have put this beautiful event together. And in the middle of Ramadan, towards the end of Ramadan, and I want to thank all of them for taking this opportunity. And I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Some of the projects which we have done in the last few years encompasses primarily around health. Health education, reducing health disparities in the Somali community, the East African community. And there are a lot of projects which I think a lot of times the missing piece are the young folks who are either in colleges, in high school, which we have mentorship program for. And I wanted to give a shout out to a lot of folks who have actually taken that opportunity to advance the folks in terms of making sure that they're well connected with the school system. And there are about 40 or 50 Somali nurses that are part of the Somali Health Board. We got a few doctors, and it becomes a great opportunity to be able to be mentored, to understand and navigate the school process and be able to build your career towards that. So I just want to make sure that youth is aware of that. There are a couple projects which we do in the summer. As many of you know that the health system in Somalia is different from here, and we always advocate in terms of making sure that people are aware of what's called prevention. That you don't go to your doctor only when you're sick, that you go make sure that you have health screenings. Every year here in this room we have a health fair that attracts more than 200 people. So I'm sure folks have been here before. And the main emphasis on that is for us to address some of those health disparities. The biggest thing we've been working on this year, actually, in the last 2 years, is advocacy work, and that is when it comes to the policy work of the health disparities. As the new immigrant refugees, we realize a lot of times the numbers when it comes to the data collection, the census, and I'm mentioning this because I see a lot of elected officials are here, is because those data or the census are mixed when it comes to being linked in terms of black. So when we get in those censuses, we're black, which of course we are. But at the same time, our health disparities are much different compared to other folks because of language barrier, because of the food that we take, because of the lifestyle that we used to have where people used to walk all the time, and then now we're all sitting in cars and all these things. So one of the things that we have really put a lot of emphasis in making sure is that people are aware that the health disparities that the immigrant refugees face is completely different than folks who have been here much longer. And therefore, when these policies are being administered or discussed at decision-making tables, to which Somali Health Board members take part in, that we really want to make sure that folks understand that we have to factor the fact that immigrant refugees have different health needs.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, sisters and brothers. But just to say a few things. One, to share with you all, and some of you may already know this, for me personally, the spirit of Ramadan, or Ramzan, as we say in India, is very familiar because I grew up around it. India is a little bit like Takwila. It's a plurality of religions and cultures and ethnicities and languages and cuisines. And growing up, I had a lot of friends who were Muslim, and in fact, one of the memories of Ramadan is actually the food is so good. And so as kids, we would look forward to the food. And I think as others, including the esteemed Imam said, the spirit of Ramadan is empathy and unity. And for me as an activist and as a socialist, I see that concept of empathy and unity as one that's based on ideas of social justice, racial justice, economic justice, the idea of the inherent equality of all human beings. Young people everywhere are sitting up and taking notice. Sisters and brothers, we are in a completely different era, and we are lucky to be at a time when people are willing to come out and fight in peaceful, organized social movements. So I look forward to working with you continually, and please join us. July 29th, we will be having a formal launch of the Affordable Seattle campaign. We will send out more information and leaflets, but we need our Somali sisters and brothers with us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum one more time. I think now more than ever, we need a right representation. That's why we need people to work for Obah. We need people to work for Zach. So I'm gonna repeat it again. I'm gonna repeat that multiple times. We're gonna need you all to come and do door knocking with us. We want you to do a volunteering. We're planning to do on registration at the Abu Bakr Masjid. We're gonna plan to do on registration on all other places. So we want you guys, if you guys wanna have the right representation, if you guys wanna have someone that understands the problems that we face in our daily lives, if you wanna have the right representation, it's time for you to get up. Like the councilwoman said, it's time for us to get up, and it's time for us to keep it moving. Please. And everyone.
Knock, 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 knock. You wonder who's at the door? It is I, the one that affects the mind, body, and soul, the one that can help you achieve your goal, but you have to let me be in complete control. I am the one without any rival, and once you see me, I promise to go viral. People are pointing to the sky upon my arrival, and when I come around, your greatest enemies are chained, so it gets easier to abstain from the hellfire because it's contained. Now Jannah becomes easier to attain. I am that constant reminder for you to power your deeds to the summit. I am that consistent companion that pushes you to exceed any limit. Among the dozen, I am the one that packs a punch, and I refuse for you to munch any breakfast or lunch. I have 11 friends, but I'm the best of the bunch. Do you guys have any hunch? Ramadan, good job. You see, even in moments like these, I bring the ummah together, and you can be whatever and be from wherever. And I don't visit one before the other, but some use me as an excuse to divide and sever. Because of me, you sit in rows at the masjid and you gain from a feast. Then you stand in rows and pray until you feel pain in your feet. But you don't complain because it's brief. No longer profane in your speech because you want to attain Jannah and relief. So I visit every home, but the believers are the only ones that let me enter. So you can find me in every mosque, Muslim household, or Islamic center. I am the one that helps you remember. You censor your temper because you don't want to be touched by the blazing ember. So some prepare for me 6 months ahead, but for others I might be the one that they dread. Because I can see and hear that what some fear is that this might be the final year that they ever get to witness me appear. But for others, their glance is easy, their finances made them greedy, so they think they have another chance to see me. And if you try to remind them, they'll be like, oh, here we go. But if you try to remind them, they'll be like, here we go, because they don't understand so many are gone that were here just a year ago. For those that are smart, they love me with all of their heart. But for others, their heart has become dark and they can't wait till the day that I depart. Talking about departing, I'm departing very soon, 6 or 7 days, depending on how you're perceiving me. But I don't want you to be like those who say they believe in Allah, but actually believe in me. What I'm trying to convey is if you think you only need to fast, recite, and pray for my 30 days, then you must have been led astray. So we all need to continuously obey, because soon I'll be going away. And who's here to stay? Allah, the one to whom we pray.
So
My name is Nessa. I am a student at the University of Washington. Speaking from experiences and my experience as the president of the Somali Student Association this past year, I've learned a lot about teamwork and collaboration. Our community, the Somali community, suffers a lot. We go through a lot, whether it be through language barriers, through lack of access of higher education, through the criminalization of our youth, from being victims of hate crimes. Our Somali community is extremely vulnerable, which is why it's extremely important that we all work together and collaborate. Having a united front is extremely crucial. We must work together, learn from each other, and most importantly, help each other. There's a Somali proverb that says, if people come together, they can even mend a crack in the sky. I truly believe that, and as a Somali community, if we work together, that's 100% possible.
Sheikh Ahmed Noor, first, personally, waxaan rabay inaan ku dhaho Jazakallah. Sheikh Ahmed Noor from Abu Bakr Masjid has been our greatest supporter personally, on a personal level, but also of our work. The way that he supports, I don't know if I consider myself youth anymore, but youth in the community, the way that he has been an advocate for many of us and has consistently shown up for the last 3 years to this iftar, encouraged other people to show up, is immense leadership, shows immense leadership. Marka aniga waxaan ku arkaa inaan noo tahay Sheikh Mufti Mink, the Somali version. Yeah. Marka aad iyo aad u mahadsantahay. And I want to close out with thanking all of our attendees, your participation, your engagement, and a long night, specifically to those of us who are fasting, is much appreciated. Thank you all for attending. That concludes our evening. And unless Ubah wanted to end with something else.
I wanted to say something that's good news to us. Dr. Laura and Linda are here from the Washington State University. We started a tryout, something called Islahul Qulub. Imam Ahmed Noor has been a big part of it. And it is trauma healing. And it has been funded, actually. We were trying to see how this goes, but now it's funded. Now we can benefit a lot of families, a lot of people through this. So that is some kind of a good news that we started. And we didn't know how it's going to go, but now we have the funding to support a lot of families. So that's a good news. Thank you, both of you.
And thank you all for coming. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.